So where do we begin with this story? So as you guys know, I just got out of hospital, 2 days ago now. I'm back home. Um, and I already knew I was going to have to cross some bridges and approach some situations when I got back. So I was kind of mentally prepared for it. But you know, when it happens, you don't always deal with it the best way. But with that being said, as you guys know, I'm staying with a friend who ain't really my friend at all. I mean, it's one of those things that's kind of difficult, but I've learned to stop giving people titles that they just don't deserve. You understand what I'm saying? I try to be loving and caring and considerate, but I think one thing I've learned about friendship, it's just like a friendship is a type of relationship. Everything has to be a two-way street. You have to give, and you should get. You know what I'm saying? At some capacity, it's not a competition. You know, it's nothing about back and forth. I owe you this. Friendship means something to me. You know what I'm saying? And I said it once. I said it again. I said it a million times. What's important to me should be important to you. You understand what I'm saying? And you only got to show me one good time that you don't care about me, that you don't care about my feelings, that you don't care about what's important to me, that you don't support my music, you don't care about what's going on in my life because you're so into yourself, because you're doing your own thing. We all have troubles, we all have trials, we all struggle, but that's the point of the friendship. And if you can't value the friendship, then you just don't need to be friends, point blank, period. We're no longer 15, 16 years old. We are grown people going into 30. Not saying that close, but I'm just saying we're past grown. We're not little kids that just don't know what friendship, what life is about. You know what I'm saying? We already passed that stage. My friend, let's say, he's the bridge that I crossed probably 4 or 5 years ago when I went to LA. I went from Florida to Atlanta. I stayed in Atlanta for maybe 1 or 2 months, and then I went to LA, long story short. And I graduated August 14th. That week, you know, I was in LA, and then the next week I was in Atlanta, where I am now. And I'm making some more moves. And we had always been cool. When I stayed with him the first time, everything was cool. We didn't have no problems, no arguments, nothing like that. I knew he was a hoe back then, but I guess things don't always get better in time. With that being said, before I came here, you know, you try to scope out, you know, the conversation on the phone, like, okay, because he don't stay where he used to stay. You know, now he stays with his best friend. And Georgia houses, they got a top and they have a bottom. So there's some people that stay downstairs. Excuse me. I'm still in the healing process, so make sure you guys continue to pray for me. So, anyway, I told him to drop me off to the hospital. What that was, I guess last Monday, whenever I went into the hospital, because, you know, I was having shortness of breath, like I was wheezing, like somebody was choking me. I've never had asthma, but if that's what an asthma attack feels like, I understand your pain, because it was no joke. And unbeknownst to me, I was basically I was walking around with pneumonia, not even knowing I have infection fluid on my lungs, and explained so many things, like my shortness of breath. But my shortness of breath, all those months, I think since May, it had been very mild. Like I have to be doing something very extraneous for me to feel that kind of excessive. It wasn't the feeling that I had maybe like the day before I went to the hospital, but it was more like, okay, I shouldn't be, you know, I'm not that out of shape. So that was that. But this video is more short about friendship, so I'm going to get to that. So with him, I was in the hospital 2 days. He didn't check on me. I already knowing that he ain't a good friend. From my experience with him this time around, you know, cool, whatever. I've kind of accepted that fact. But sometimes you can kind of accept it in your mind, but when you see that person and when you get in that atmosphere, when you get back to the house, it's like you feel like you have to walk on eggshells and you don't feel comfortable talking to that person, because once they say things and they do certain things, that's the kind of person I am. And I hate being in uncomfortable situations when you don't have to do with something, you know, deal with something. And I hate that. It's like somebody being abused. Oh, he abused me. He cursed me out. He talked to me in the kind of way. Okay, leave. You don't have no kids. You don't have nothing tying you down. I ain't saying it's easy, but I don't want to hear you complain about a situation that you can change. You know what I'm saying? You can change your life. You tired of being a bum? You tired of being broke? Get a job. Go to school. Stop making excuses. Nobody loves you. Nobody supports you. You have to find the inner strength. Sometimes you have to encourage yourself. A lot of the time, you're going to have to encourage yourself. I've learned that, and I'm still learning that to this day. Don't depend on nobody in this world ever. Mama, daddy, sister, brother, friend, best friend. I don't care who it is. I think the best thing I've ever done for myself was be independent. Don't ask nobody for no $5. Don't ask nobody to pay your cell phone. Don't ask nobody to pay your rent, because all those are credit and ties. So people can say, remember I paid your cell phone bill? Remember I let you buy $5? Remember I let you stay with me and your kids, and my kids and your kids? And you remember that time I came to pick you up from the train station when you were stuck? I have struggled real bad because I did not want to deal with certain people. I didn't want to feel like they have some type of cloud or, ventriloquist cord string on top of me saying, remember I did this, remember I did this. I just really hate. And so I just need to get back to that place. But sometimes you're going to need people. Truth of the matter. But that's another lesson. That's another video. So I was in the hospital 2 days. He didn't reach out to me. He was like, are you alive? And just, when you're sick, you don't want to hear all that. Playing games and stuff like that. You dropped me off to the hospital. And this is a conversation I just had with him a few minutes ago before he left, going back being a hoe. So he just came back from New York. I don't know how many days he was gone and how I know, because he told me, and then his best friend confirmed. He told me he was coming back today and all this stuff. And through his best friend that stays in the other room, he told me how he is. And I'm like, I've known him for like 5 years, and I've never known him to be that type of way. And I'm more a straightforward person. Like, confront me, talk to me about how you feel, what's going on. Because if you're uncomfortable with me being here or any situation like that, or I don't know what it is, just come and tell me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a stranger. How is it that you can call me every name? And we don't have friends, you kind of curse them out. And you know what I'm saying? So how are you able to talk to me like that? But when it comes to something serious, you can't talk to me. Like, really? That's kind of backwards. But that's just me. Everybody's built different, whatever. I've learned you can't really get mad. I mean, you can, but the easiest thing is just to move forward. After you let people know how you feel, what's important to you, and if you've done that a few times and they're making it clear to you that they don't care, it's nothing that you can do. You can let time go by, but only thing that you'll be wasting is your time. You understand what I'm saying? Because one thing I've realized, you can try to prove something to somebody, but that's only if they care. And that's just the truth of the matter. If they care, if they don't care, you're trying to prove a point. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna be revengeful. I'm gonna be successful. That's if they paying attention. That's if they care. People have to care in order to notice certain things. You ever try to get back at somebody like really they ain't really paying attention? It's like ineffective to them because they're in a different state of mind. And sometimes you have to really stand back from a situation, from a person, from whatever it is that may be that stumbling block. You can't cross the street. You got to go all the way back, even if you have to go to the next state, and take some time and be like, okay. And I had to really get real. I ain't saying I ain't being judgmental, but I had to think about it. I'm like, before I came to stay here, you know what I'm saying? He's gay. He got a boyfriend that don't stay here. That's another situation. His boyfriend stay down the street, whatever. But he's active on Jack. He's active on Grindr. He's out being a hoe. He brings them to this house all times of the night. Some days I don't see people. Some days, most of the time I have my headphones on. I'm doing my own thing, so I'm not really paying attention. But when you come out the room and you running into the person or the person that you probably just slept with, it's kind of awkward. You're in the kitchen and somebody out the door. You're looking through the blinds. You see the person getting in the car. You're like, yo. And I thought about it, and I'm saying this to make a point. I'm like, I remember I asked him one day not too long ago, I'm like, what's the most important thing to you? He told me his boyfriend. I'm like, okay, first of all, I feel like that should be God, or yourself at least, but that's just me. If you say you're in love with your boyfriend and you cheat on him every chance that you get, we're just friends. I know I don't stand a chance. You know what I'm saying? And I just had to be realistic and mentally put on my goodbye shoes and say, you know what, I'm not going to no longer put myself in the situation. And sometimes you just have to walk by faith and just hope that God's going to give you something better. If you let God lead your life, He will. But sometimes we're too much trying to be in control because we can't always see the end of what God may do if we give Him the opportunity. Sometimes we give God a chance and then we kind of take it back in the middle of Him working it out, or it's already worked out, but you just being busy. You're doing too much. You know what I'm saying? You're doing the most, like how I like to say. But I had to mentally put on my goodbye shoes and I'm finna exit the situation sooner than later. So he came in the room, he said what he had to say, and I told him, like, he was like, well, you could have texted me back, and I'm like, I was in the hospital for a week, 7 days. I'm like, I'm trying to live, survive. This situation is serious. And I said, remember that time I was trying to get a job not too long ago, and I was out of breath, and I said, I felt like I was going to pass out. I'm walking around with pneumonia, fighting my lungs. I mean, you need your lungs to survive, last time I checked. And I said, that's what that was. And I didn't even know. I didn't even know it. So, I mean, and I've had this similar conversation with him not caring and how selfish he is. He's like, well, if I wasn't a good friend to you, you wouldn't be staying here. And see, that right there, that kills me. Don't, because I'm living rent-free from now until I get a job, until I get on my feet, don't try to play me off like that. Every time I got in your car, I put gas in it. Every time I went to the store, every time I went to go get something to eat, I offered you something. You got snacks galore in your room, making, I ain't gonna say secret trips, but never once did you ask me did I want anything. You coming home, bringing home food, but you know I'm struggling. Did you ask if I'm okay? So just because I'm here, okay, well, you're a good friend. You need to be a better friend. You know what I'm saying? But that's just my take. And I've come to my conclusion, and, I've talked this out. And, I've said it, the roommate situation. I'm like, ever since that roommate situation where people were stealing my stuff, he acting different, talking about, when you put food in the garbage can, make sure you take it out and put it in the trash can. Oh, did you take my towels? Just a lot of petty stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, how you gonna mistreat somebody when somebody else took my stuff? And, like, ever since that situation, I'm like, he been acting funny. You know when somebody acting indifferent, especially when you know the regular them. He's a chill person. But I think to him, being a hoe is more important. He said his boyfriend, but that's not believable. And that's why I don't want to be in a relationship these days, I promise you, because people cannot be trusted. And I haven't even really gone there, like the stuff that he's involved in. You know what I'm saying? Like, how can you be doing these things, but you're in a relationship? And, I'm forever grateful for him letting me stay here. But you always remember experiences, when you need somebody or when people feel like you need them, how they treated you, how they try to play you. You know what I'm saying? How they try to manipulate a situation because you were in need. You know what I'm saying? And I think sometimes, and I'll be done, I think sometimes we give people too much credit. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not out killing people. I mean, does that necessarily make them a good person or a bad person? Because, how he lives his life, my friend, or, my so-called friend, I don't want to give that type of credit to him, saying that he's a bad person, but he can do a whole lot better. Because the funny thing is, when you pattern your life a certain type of way, like, nigga, you're 35 years old, you're still really doing those things. You're at 35 in a relationship with, it's so much that I know, and so much background. It would take me 52 years to tell you guys everything. But I, in my spirit, am justified in how I'm going to play the situation out. But I have indeed put on my goodbye shoes. And when he comes here tomorrow, because he said we need to talk. First of all, hey, don't be saying we need to talk, because we're not in a relationship. That's weird. Like, we don't need to talk. I said, say it right now. You're like, well, no, I don't have time. I'm going back out. Whatever. Go be a hoe. Anyway, I don't know what he was doing, but hoes are pretty consistent. Just saying, that's what makes you what you are. But anyway, I just had to vent and get that off my chest. So when he says that he going to talk to me after work, which is about 5 and 6, I won't be here. I will be going up beyond. Anyway, that's enough of that. Tell me what you guys think on this friendship, this non-friendship, about this situation. If you guys have been in anything like that, and just, make sure you share the video, you like it, you thumbs up it, you share it, you comment, you do all those things. You follow me on Instagram, you buy my music, you connect with me, because you are Team All the Way Driven, aka my supporters, and I love you guys. Thank you guys for the support. Anyway, be blessed, stay all the way driven,